Hey everyone, it's Sean from Crafted Elements, and in this short video I'm going to be answering a question that we get somewhat frequently about using our router sleds on a narrower workbench. Maybe you're in your garage and space is really at a premium. Maybe you've only got a 36-inch or maybe even a 24-inch deep workbench to put this on, yet the smallest crossbars, which are these bars that slide back and forth, that we offer are 40 inches. We also offer a 48-inch and a 60-inch. But maybe your 36-inch or 24-inch table is obviously too narrow. Well, never fear, that is not a problem. We kind of already thought about that. So these are designed in such a way that they will actually overhang these rails. So if these rails were closer together, the crossbars could overhang a little bit more than they do on each side. But to demonstrate that, I'm going to set it up on this table over here. So this tabletop isn't actually that much narrower than that one, but to make it virtually narrow, I am going to set this piece of tape here. The end of this piece of tape to the front here is 24 inches. So I'm basically going to pretend that this part of the tabletop doesn't exist, or effectively that my workbench is only 24 inches, so you can actually see what that looks like, because I want to really drive the point home that even if you've got a narrow workbench now, you can use our system on a narrow workbench if you're only doing narrower projects, maybe that are just long, and then you can always move up to a larger workbench and just spread those bars out after. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of these components moved over. I'm going to slide this off the rails. Just place it in the middle temporarily. I'm going to grab our rails and align them up with our 24-inch wide workbench. Now, as this is a demonstration, I'm not going to go and attach these rails permanently to the workbench. Generally, what you're going to want to do is mount these rails somehow. So screw them down to plywood and then screw the plywood to your workbench, or use like ramp protect fasteners or table leg fasteners, so you can make removing it and attaching it to your workbench really, really easily. But again, let's pretend that these rails are now fixed to the workbench. We're just going to go grab our Allen key, and we're going to loosen up crossbar mounts. We're going to loosen them up so we can actually freely move them through the mounts. And I mean, in this case, you would normally not be loosening them up. You would just be assembling this in a narrower way, because you're probably assembling this from scratch from our kit. So you wouldn't actually have to loosen them up because they're probably not already assembled. But in this case, it's already assembled, so I have to loosen them up and adjust them. Details, details. Okay, once they're loose, we do have play, as you can see. So all you need to do is adjust however you're mounting these. I'm just going to get tricky now. Adjust however you're mounting them to your narrower workbench. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on the first rail, which would be easier if it was actually attached and screwed down, but it's not a big deal. And then I'm going to go ahead and place this on the second rail. You can see that this now moves just as freely as it would on a larger table. Obviously, with a narrower workbench, you have a narrower slab leveling area. But it is what it is. If that's what you have to work with, that's what you have to work with. Now you might be thinking, okay, well my workbench is against a wall or whatever, so I don't have the ability to have these bars hanging out. Again, not a problem. Option to that is actually setting the bars just as we recommend, I think 1.5 inches out from the mounts. Set up some tape here. Mark a couple of lines and cut the bars. Yeah, you're probably a woodworker, you're not used to working with steel, that's cool, but an angle grinder with a metal cutting disc will work wonders, and they will cut right through these bars. Just make sure you wear eyeglasses. So again, you can use these 40-inch bars in that configuration with them overhanging, or you can use a metal grinder with an angle grinder with a metal cutting disc, or an actual metal chop saw, which is like a diamond cut chop saw for metal specifically, to cut those bars very, very easily. To get them down to size, not a problem. Just keep in mind that if you obviously cut them down to size, you can't get them longer in the future if you go to a larger workbench. But luckily you can buy replacement bars from us or Amazon or any other like industrial hardware supply place, because they are standard 20 mil rails and 20 mil bars. All right, guys, hopefully that answers your question. If you've got a narrower table, again, it is possible. And if you want to learn more about our incredible line of router sleds, head up craftedelements.com and go to the router sleds section. Thanks for watching, and happy slab leveling.